I begin this devotion with a deep sense of humility. I don't really have a lot of words to say. Our world has been turned upside down in the last week or so, 10 days following the death of George Floyd. I think we all are much more aware of the deep divisions in our nation. Our awareness has been raised over the ugly truth that racism is deeply embedded in our country and continues to permeate our American culture. My heart aches. I know your hearts ache. It's painful to see how people who are Black and brown are systematically treated differently, as if they are somehow lesser or somehow are dangerous. During the COVID pandemic, I've used this phrase that it's as if the veil has been lifted. Well, I think the veil has been lifted once again on the pain and the suffering of my Black and brown sisters and brothers due to the inequalities of economic and access to health care and education, lack of access to healthy and wholesome food, the suffering and injustice that's been there all along, but has now been brought to the surface and been given a voice. At the heart of the gospel, Jesus' gospel, Jesus adds words to the Hebrew Shema, the Shema that says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul and mind." And Jesus adds to that, he says, "Love your neighbor as yourself." How do we love our neighbor? What form does that take? What does it mean to love? Well, last Saturday, I had the joy and privilege of officiating at a wedding out at the Bluff Avenue courtyard for Alex Martin and Wendy Turchin. It was a beautiful day, and it was a real gift to me to be able to participate in that small gathering. But at every wedding that I officiate, I always share the phrase, Paul Tillich's phrase, "The first duty of love is to listen." We know that for relationships, for marriages, that it's important to give time to the other person, to listen with our hearts and to be fully present and give them the space to speak. Well, I'm committing myself to deeply listening to the stories of Black and brown people, talking less and listening more. I would guess that you, like me, have had a roller coaster of emotions. I find that I have shed many tears over the last week when I watch the morning and the evening news. Sometimes those tears come from the disbelief over the words and the actions of our president and his total disconnect from reality. He uses words like dominate and defend to address the situation. And he uses the Bible and the church as somehow to legitimate his message. This is deeply offensive and heartbreaking to me. But mostly, I'm hopeful. A great wound has been opened up in our country. Yes, it's painful on lots of fronts, but I really feel like this is a game changer. Those of us who have white privilege and white power, our hearts are being broken. And we are opening up to see over and over again. And I'm seeing over and over again that people really want to make a change. This is my prayer, that all of this unrest and all of this unsettling and all of the uncertainty is allowing systems that for so long have oppressed and created injustice, that those systems will be dismantled due to the bold and courageous actions of people who are standing up and shouting out and lying down in solidarity and saying, enough is enough. Again, I'm committed to speaking less and listening more. But when I do speak, I want to make sure that my words ring out loud and clear. Black lives matter. Amen.